My name's Hahna Norman. I'm a slopestyle snowboarder, and this past season was super fun. It was one of my best yet. In Aspen back in January, there were 2 World Cup events, slopestyle and a big air, and I got top 8 in both of them back to back, which qualified me for the pro team. So I would say that that was my season highlight. Slopestyle is kind of like our primary event, and that's a series of jumps in rails. So you have about 6 to 8 features, where you're just trying to put your best tricks on those features consecutively, and then your whole run is judged off of those features. And then big air is just one jump, and it's your best trick on that jump. So big air is definitely a lot more kind of scary because it's also usually a bigger jump, and there's a lot of, you have to do your hardest and best trick. In the preseason, I learned front tens, and that trick actually carried me through pretty much the whole competition season, so that was my biggest and hardest trick for the big airs. On a snowboard, you either stand regular or goofy. I'm regular, so I'm left foot forward, and you have 4 directions of spinning. There's front side, which is when your shoulder opens front side downhill. There's back side, which is when your shoulder closes backside downhill, and then the other 2 are those same things but switch. So you have switch front side and switch backside. My trick was front 10, so it was front side, which means when I was going off the jump, my left shoulder was opening downhill, and then 1080, so it's 3 full 360s. In the recent years, front side's been my better rotation, and so when I was doing 720s and 900s and kind of thinking about, okay, what is going to be my first 1080, I figured front side was kind of just the best way for me because I produce the most power in that direction. And so we get to do airbag training, which is like you practice a jump onto a soft surface so that if you mess up, it's very like low risk. And yeah, I was on the airbag. The front 10s were just really working for me, and I was getting them to my feet. So last year in Australia, we had a jump camp, and it was the last day of that camp. We had kind of gotten skunked with weather, so we had to like really capitalize on the days we did have. And I just did a bunch of front 3s, front 7s, front 9s, and was like, all right, I guess it's time to do the 10s. So that's where I learned it, was Australia last year. So when I had switched to Club Vale, it kind of had a little bit of like imposter syndrome feeling, like not necessarily that I wasn't meant to be there, but that I just wasn't meant to really ride at a high level. Yeah, and so Andy kind of helped me believe in myself and my abilities and my skill set, and kind of make me realize like, no, like you're meant to be here. You could be one of the best girls on this team. I'm big on remembering your roots, and I owe everything to North Star, because if I hadn't been on that team since I was 8 years old, I wouldn't have had this like love for snowboarding that got me to where I am. It like established the foundation and the roots of my love for snowboarding. It was just an environment where I had phenomenal friends and phenomenal coaches that just made snowboarding so much fun. I was like always itching to go to team. I'd wake up at 6:30 in the morning, just like, all right, when are we going? I just want to go ride with my friends and my coaches. It gave me like the love for the sport. It also, I mean, North Star's huge on like hammering in the fundamentals, and so I think that also carried me far as well, because even some days we wouldn't get to go in the park. We would just have to do fundamentals on the run all day. Edge control and learning how to pop and like utilize your snowboard effectively when doing tricks. And so there's no features involved. It literally is just on the run. And so while those days were a bit of a drag, I'm grateful for them now, because yeah, now even at my level, we'll see people with poor fundamentals, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness the North Star team taught me all that. In the start, I usually listen to Hold My Hand by Lady Gaga. Hold My Hand kind of just makes me feel like I could conquer the world. Contrary to popular belief, people think like, oh, it must be some like crazy hardcore rap or like hype song, but I think those kind of songs kind of sometimes get you a little too like tense, and snowboarding's a lot about like flow and kind of just like floating through the course, and sometimes I'll just put on an Adele greatest hits playlist, and Adele will be playing in my headphones all day. I like the just like calmer, like vocal kind of songs. My feelings for the upcoming season is, I'd say I'm primarily excited. Obviously there's some nerves going in with it being an Olympic year, a lot of stress around qualifying and and just like staying healthy and being able to make it to the Olympics would be such a dream come true. The biggest thing for the Olympics is like preservation. Can you make it through the fall and the start of the season in one piece and then have a shot at the Olympics? Because obviously injury could take you out. For me, there's an aspect of how do I make the fall training and my time on snow before the Olympic qualifiers productive while also being in a little bit of like a preservation mode. But I think that's kind of silly, that mindset in a way. You need to have an aspect of like fearlessness and kind of trust too that everything's gonna work out for you. You can't change your day-to-day or live in this fear of, oh, I can't get hurt because the Olympics are coming up, because then you're just gonna put yourself in these positions that are like not natural to your normal kind of state of mind. So I think being fearless is gonna be a big one. For the last 3 summers, I've worked as a barista, and it's pretty, it doesn't sound like a taxing job, but it's 9 hours on your feet, and it sometimes comes with a 5:30 a.m. shift, and you just leave walking away feeling so tired, so drained, and the last thing you want to do as an athlete is have to go to the gym for 2 hours and then come home and work on your mindset and things like that because you're just so exhausted. So for the last 3 summers, that's kind of been my reality. Not really being able to put as much effort as I want to into being an athlete because I've been having to work so hard to be able to support, because I only get 3 months to work. So I have to make all the money that's gonna last me the whole year until I can work again. So because I received the Juniper Award this year, I was able to spend my summer in Utah, which is where the headquarters for the US team are, and just make that, being an athlete, my primary job. I didn't have to work another job. I just got to wake up, I'd airbag for 2 hours, then I would go to the gym, work out for 2 hours, and then fill my afternoon with just like ice bath and sauna and working with the mental coach and just all these things where I got to make being an athlete my full-time job, and that was super special. So I think that commitment for just the summer to just head into this big season, I'm feeling super strong and super mentally good and physically good and motivated, excited to get back on my snowboard. So I think that hopefully that commitment of the summer will kind of carry me into, just a good season. And then, a ritual that I do, it's actually usually when I'm setting up my snowboard. I'll put my bindings on, put all my sponsor stickers on, and then I always make sure that I write a quote between my bindings, because then pretty much only I can see it. I mean, people can as well, but no one's really looking between your feet. And so I always write a quote that's like applicable to the time frame I'll be riding that board. So if there's a huge competition coming up, and I'm setting up this new snowboard, and let's say this snowboard will last for a month, I'll write something maybe to give me confidence, or maybe like I've set up a snowboard when I'm coming back from injury, and so I'll write a quote that kind of like brings me peace. And so then when I'm dropping in, I'll usually like clear off the snow where the riding is and just read it really quick, and then just so it gives me a little reminder. Recently on a snowboard, I put believe, just that word, because I was kind of going through a series of like not really trusting myself. On my snowboard setup right now, it says practice like you've never won and play like you've never lost. So that one's good just for like kind of the competition and mentality, and just like the principle of practicing hard. Another one that I had was, if you don't take the chance, you'll never know what could have been. That one I wrote when I was coming back from my knee injury, just also as like a little confidence booster, to look down and not let like fear hold me back. And it's as simple as like a trick in front of you. In context of last season, if I didn't learn that front 10, I wouldn't have made these finals, I wouldn't have made the pro team, I wouldn't have made the world champs team. So those are some quotes in between my bindings.